Hello, my name is Don and welcome back to another episode of my Football Manager Let's Play, which I have now decided to name Follow Follow, after the Rangers chant Follow Follow. That will show from episode 1 on YouTube, which was uploaded about an hour ago as of recording this. And as you'll see, we've came back for the second of the Hearts games. Now, there was a reason for this. I will sort of go through that in a minute. Partly because I am recording this on the 11th, well, the 10th of December, which is when this game got played in real life, so I kind of thought that's an omen in itself. That game was played a few hours ago with Rangers won 2-0. The last game we recorded, I believe, was at Johnston at home, and we lost 2-0. Since then, our form's been a bit hit and miss. A lot of speculation in the media about me getting sacked, to be honest with you, which isn't fun. I actually got Manager of the Month for the month where we lost to Celtic, which was September. I was a little bit shocked to get Manager of the Month there, but I think Celtic had less games, so Brendan Rodgers was sort of knocked out of the race for it a little bit. And since then, our form's been patchy at best, and a lot of talk about my position as Rangers manager. I think it's maybe a little bit harsh, but at the same time, maybe it is a bit realistic because Mark Warburton's had the same sort of thing in real life. So we'll go through the results since this is Johnston game. We drew 0-0 at home to Kilmarnock again, another pretty disastrous result that. In front of 45,000 of our own fans. Again, fairly strong team that we put out. And then we were away to Ross County, who were bottom of the league. And between these two games, I had a team meeting and just said, listen lads, we need to keep the head up. And we won 5-1, which was phenomenal. Gets some momentum back, gets us some morale back. All that good stuff. They were bottom of the league. We were phenomenal this game. Although I think even the first half was pretty shady. We were 1-0 down and came back very strong. We were absolutely unplayable in the second half though. Dundee, bit meh. We equalised. Again, I felt this was a game we dominated and just couldn't find it. And then we had another 5-1 win over Partick Thistle away. This was a big game. We were quite close to Partick in the league at the time. Hearts, and this is when I decided to change to Hearts being our sort of change. This game was 1-1. Two of the worst goals you will ever see. Both absolute P-rollers from about 25 yards. Where both goalkeepers should do better. This game realistically should have been 0-0 based on that. We'll take the point at Tynecastle. It's a good point. And Rangers in real life lost 2-0 in this game, so again that maybe highlights how good a point this is. That left us third in the table behind Celtic, who are runaway league leaders still. And equal on points and goal difference with Hearts, and only behind them on 2 goals scored. Aberdeen at the time were mid-table, and I thought, do you know what, it makes so much more sense in terms of the league that we do the Hearts game. At the same time, I'm going to be recording it on the Saturday that the game's played in real life, so just a little bit of omen there as well. So I just thought it makes a bit of sense. It maybe would have been better if I was uploading it on the same day, but it is what it is. Excuse me. And then we had Aberdeen at home, where we won 1-0, which was from a corner, flipped on by Jordan Williams, which Sendros scored. I dropped John Suter for this game because of fitness, same with John McGinn. Both of them were having quite a lot of fitness issues. I brought John Suter back on, and one of the things that I done is I was having a look at this, and it said, I'm going to see if I can, yeah, because this player could successfully be retrained as a defensive midfielder. Now, I finished this game with my usual formation, but I dropped the 2 central midfielders back. I brought John Suter on and played him as a half-back in that central defensive role. And I've decided I'm going to retrain him there as a defensive midfielder half-back. As you can see, he's got, if I can click it, yeah, okay, I think this is what it's already shown anyway. He's got fairly decent stats for a half-back. Concentration and decisions aren't the best, but I think that's also the same sort of issue that he would have as a central defender. Yes, that is correct. So a lot of these stats overlap. Need a bit more balance, but again, he's got fairly good balance for this league. 14's a decent for early game SPL anyway. And it's improving. As you can see, all these green lines are going up. So that's fairly good for me. At the same time, by having John Suter played as a halfback will allow me, I've not set up the tactical changes yet. I've literally just done the set pieces that I've been meaning to do for God knows how long. I've done them before this game. Played up this game last night and didn't play it. I went out, that's why my voice might sound a bit croaky today. And maybe for the next video, which I plan to record, and after this one, if I can play up to there tonight, it also might mean I'll take a couple of drinks just to re-dry my throat. But what it'll allow me to do is play a 4-5-1 with a halfback with some more advanced fullbacks. And what my understanding of the halfback is he will drop in between the two centre backs, similar to what Luis Gustavo done for Brazil in the 2014 World Cup. That maybe didn't go well for Brazil in the end, but at the same time it's a system that I quite like. I like a holding mid that will drop back there. That would allow me, if you look at the Hearts team report, if I can find it, as you can see I'm still scouting God knows how many people. Jaiko Tongo I agreed a pre-deal with originally. At the time, Morton Hunt offered him a new contract. Unfortunately, between me offering him the contract and him accepting, Morton did offer him a contract of equal or greater terms, which meant that compensation did become a factor, which I thought they would anyway. I just thought I'd offer him a contract on the off chance, and as we have no transfer budget, so that became a no-go. I'm just trying to find this team report from my scouts. It's got to be about here somewhere. So it never normally comes in that early, does it? Yeah, again here, this is just showing that, and unfortunately Tam Scobie, who I was going to bring in as a backup, decided to stay at St Johnstone for first team football. Again, he was just going to be a backup. Jordan Williams out for quite a bit of time, which has affected the training that I put on him. It should be here somewhere. Here we go. Heart scouting reports. So goals against, 10 of their 20 goals have came from crosses, which our system right now isn't creating a lot of crosses, but I think a 4-5-1 with a holding midfielder and allowing our fullbacks to go further forward would create more crosses. So in a game like this one, a 4-5-1 with more advanced fullbacks would be a much more beneficial system. The other thing that I noticed, if I can find player instructions, here we are, and I'm going to go to here. So we've had 4 red cards for straight reds for our ball winning midfielder, be it Rusatier or Barton. Halliday and Crooks haven't had much game time. Tackle harder has been on, but for whatever reason you cannot take it off, and it's quite frustrating, and I suspect that's why we have had so many red cards. I've also brought Joey Barton back into the team. When Rusatier got his second red, he was a bit unhappy. Well, I was a bit unhappy with it, and I decided to give Barton a game. Results sort of changed, so I've just stuck with Barton. And he removed his transfer request, and I've taken him off the transfer list. I would still like to get rid of him in January, but if it means that I'm going to keep my job next season, I'd rather pay 20 grand a week to Joey Barton and have the job next season than not have the job next season and not have Joey Barton and have the 20 grand a week spare in the wage budget. So from now we will go and get into the game. I don't think I had anything else to cover here. The one thing I will say in this Johnson game, I was quite tired at recording it. I've just not been able to put this save down, to be honest with you. I've already set up my team on I recorded up to this last night, and I can't remember if I set up my team the way I want it. Garner and Waghorn, I'm not really sure which one's best right now. They both have absolute stormer games, and then they have an absolute nothing game. Harry Forrester I'm not really happy with. I've changed him to an inside forward, and I changed McGinn to an advanced playmaker. I think I might have covered in that in the last episode. I'm not sure. McGinn's star rating drops down, but when you actually look at his stats, there's a lot of overlap between the ball winning midfielder stats and the advanced playmaker. There's just a lot less. I think it adds flair. Maybe adds something else as well, I'm not sure. But regardless, advanced playmaker was the system I used last year, and McGinn's got fairly decent stats for this role in the SPL as well. Maybe would like a few to be slightly higher, slightly towards 14, 15, a bit more. But he's still a good option for this, and he's still got so much development room. He's not developing as much as I would like right now. Also, uptake value of 1.8 million. We paid 1.4, I think, with after add-ons. Maybe 1.1. I genuinely can't remember. The other issue is Jordan Williams and Danny Wilson are now both out long term. 7 to 8 weeks for Williams and 5 to 8 weeks for Wilson. So none of them are going to really play until the end of January, probably late February by the time they actually get match fitness again. Which means we only have 3 senior defenders in John Suter, Senderos and Clint Hill, who I really don't trust. I think we played one game with him and got absolutely smashed. I genuinely can't remember. I'm sure he's played one game. Yeah, here, one game, 6.5 rating, which isn't terrible, but it's not brilliant either. Everywhere else seems to be full bill of health. I brought in some trialists just to have a look at them. Pilardo, ex-Hearts player, O'Hara, I can't remember who he played for. I'm not actually ex-Fulham player. I'm not actually going to sign any of them. And Michael Turner again, another senior defender. I was just having a look at the contracts that were going to expire at the end of the year, and when I was obviously searching, my search parameters expired came up, and I was looking at the scouting, and all these guys were 3 to 4 stars. But I think that was at the start of the season that these scout reports had been done. Maybe when I've brought in a scout or something. And to be honest, they're just not there. And by the time I get them the match fitness anyway, it's just not worth it. Their wages demands weren't that high, but I'm just going to go with where we're at. So full strength as we can be starting lineup today. We'll have a back line of Foderingham, Tavernier, Senderos, Suter and Wallace. McGinn and Barton in the central of the park. Forward Mackay, Holt. I think it was Holt anyway that I put in. Might have been Cranshot. No, it was Holt. Harry Forrester with Garner up top. Again, the whole Garner thing, I'm just going to always close down Jamie Walker as well. The whole Garner Waghorn thing, neither of them are great strikers for the SPL, and I think this is why they're good strikers, but they're not top end SPL quality. So what you're getting is you're getting flurries of what they can do, and then a poor game, and then a flurry from the other one, and then a poor game. So you bring the other one back in, and neither of them are really getting a great run in the team for that reason. And at the same time, neither of them are really going and setting down a marker for a reason for me to keep them in the first team. They both have about 10 goals each over the course of the season, including cup games. So, I mean, they're not been terrible by any stretch of the imagination. It's also not looking likely that I'm going to have any transfer budget in January. So, unless I sell someone. But again, I can't really sell people for any real money to bring in a replacement that would be better. So, I think we're only going to sell if there's a big offer for a player. I would maybe like to get rid of Cranshaw just because he's forever injured, and even now he's only getting 60 minutes to a game before he's absolutely knackered, so I'm losing a sub almost straight away when I start him. And he's not really done the business off the bench. So I think Cranshaw's maybe one I would look to get rid of just to free up the wage bill, because I think Liam Burt's maybe not quite ready for first team, but he's close enough that as a backup he's okay, and Salmon gets in behind Senderos there, but hits the post thankfully for us. The other one that I'm maybe going to do, I'm maybe going to interact with the board again and see if we can get that goalkeeper that I want and sell Wes Foderingham if we get him, but I won't sell Wes to make way for him unless again we get a big offer for another player that I can replace for the money with the $500,000 for the goalkeeper that I want. Harry Forrester, fantastic goal on the rebound there, absolutely brilliant for him, Harry. Sort of since I put him into an inside forward, he's got a couple of goals. Just a poor clearance there from Hearts, and Harry Forrester gets in front of the Hearts defender and puts it home into the bottom corner. No chance for the keeper. Excuse me. So I think Harry Forrest as an inside forward has been good. I'd still maybe prefer a winger there, but I'm happy with how it is just now. See, here we go. Because I've got this role on tackling harder, I now have to bring off Barton at half time. In reality, I'd much rather wait until he gets down to about 60% fitness. Big launch and throw in from Callum Patterson. Headed down, and Jamie Walker's strike is deflected wide. But yeah, if I can interact with the board and get this goalkeeper's got 18 months left on his contract. He was offered a new contract by his club, which I obviously seen because I'm tracking him about as hard as you can. Oh, I thought that was a little mix up in the defence there, but Foderingham does pick up. But he rejected that. I don't know if that's because I'm looking at him. I believe Hearts are also looking at him, which shocks me as well because Jack Hamilton was a goalkeeper I looked at as well. Although I felt this lad was a better option for a lower fee with lower wage demands. The other thing, when I was going through the fixtures, I meant to say the Partick Thistle game was one of the strangest games that I've ever seen. James Tavernier manages to score and get as Garner scores for us there as we're talking about scoring. Preparing to load Planet Coaster, what the hell? I'm going to apologise if this cuts off here. It has. Are you wait? Go and give me 2 seconds, guys. Okay, so I'm back. I would edit that out, but because it coincided with a goal, I don't really want to. A brilliant volley there from Joe Garner. The issue is for the household we have one Steam account, and my missus wanted to play Planet Coaster and didn't realise it would affect me. I don't think it'll actually show anything because I've set this up to only show Football Manager with the recording. So I think the recording will be safe for any sort of issues. Oh, clear it. Oh, he's offside anyway. So no issue with the corner either. Good chance there for Hearts to get back into this game. 2-0 to Rangers at the minute. But yeah, so she wanted to play Planet Coaster, which I'll let her do after we've done this game, I think, just to be fair. And obviously she's tried to load on the laptop, and the last time I tried this, I think I was actually playing No Man's Sky, and I was going for an achievement, and I just sat in a building, and it wouldn't even let me load up Football Manager on the laptop, so a bit shocked that it let her, but nonetheless, it's fine. A little bit of issue with with the video because now I look like a dafty, but hopefully you understand. Just accidents happen. Maybe a bit more communication. I should have said I was recording, but I thought she was doing other stuff, so I didn't. Another great ball from Mackay and another volley from Garner. Yeah, 3-0. Complete cruise control. I think this will put us 5 points clear of Hearts. I meant to show you the league table. That was the one thing I meant to show you. Hearts drew last week when we played Aberdeen, but I believe their game in hand's also to Celtic. If my working out is correct, Celtic have about 4 games in hand and a 7-point lead at the top, which is utterly ridiculous, but I suppose does mirror real life a little bit. Passionate, yes, I'm pleased with your performance. Keep it up, lads. So yeah, it is close at the top. Aberdeen have been sort of the disappointing package of the season, I would imagine, being in mid-table, but Partick and St Johnstone have stepped up to the plate and made up for that, and they're still there or thereabouts with us and Hearts. But if we can get a 5-point lead, I meant to take Barton off. I better take him off now. Yeah, I do have Halliday on the bench. That's fine. No, I don't want to take off him again. I would like to take off him again with his fitness. I don't know why his fitness just deteriorates so much in games. He's got 100% match conditioning, and he's got 14 stamina, so he should be absolutely fine. But for whatever reason, he just dies so quickly in games. And I don't know if there's a stat that I don't know, or there's maybe a hidden stat or something that I'm not really accounting for, and that's maybe why. But it's a bit of a worry for me because when he starts his higher, I feel we're a worse team. Also, for going forward, if I can keep the job, I'm going to just give Cranshaw a run out here. So I'll bring on Cranshaw from again and just play him in that midfield role. He's not quite as good there, but hopefully he can go in there and do a job. Last substitution. Who am I going to bring on? Bring on Waghorn for Holt, I think. Waghorn's tired more than anyone else. And when you look at the ratings around him, he's got the worst rating. Like a 7.1. Sorry, Holt even. He's got a 7.1. That's still fairly decent compared to our overall season forms being quite consistently mid to high sixes. Senderos is the other one, but I don't like making defender subs in games unless I'm forced to. And at the same time, Clint Hill in this game just worries me so much. If I realised that booking was going to happen, I would have brought off Wallace, to be honest with you. Just because this game's done and dusted, and I'd rather have Wallace for the next game without a daft second yellow. This will just be a pointless free kick highlight, I would imagine, rather than anything actually spectacular as it goes to full time now. I will show the league table after this game. I genuinely meant to show it beforehand, but I believe this puts us 5 points clear. Well done, lads. Second half was pretty boring, yeah. So 5 points clear of Hearts, who have a game in hand, which, because of the way the league table looks, I think it's going to be Celtic that game in hand too. We're the early kickoff, I think. No, we're not. We're a late kickoff. We're Sunday. Okay, that's interesting. I didn't actually mean to click forward there, but nonetheless, it is what it is. So, league table looks, we are 5 points behind Celtic, who have 4 games in hand to us. We are 5 points clear of Hearts, who have a game in hand to us. We played a game more. I'm not sure how we played a game more than everyone in the league, apart from Killian and Inverness. That's a bit strange to me. But the last time that I've seen sort of an imbalance of fixtures, Hearts and Celtic were the only one that weren't all on equal games. So I'm not sure who all Celtic games in hand are to either. Stat wise, let's go for team. We'll go for team details. So yeah, average possession, we're the highest in the league, which doesn't surprise me. I'm actually a little bit disappointed it's only 54.5%. I'd expect that to be closer to 60 with these tactics, or at least that's what it was yesterday. Headers on, we have quite a short team, so we are still winning 58%. Although everyone in the league's winning more than 50% of headers, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Yellow cards. Disciplinary record's been quite poor. 3rd in the league. Red cards, we are the worst in the league with 3. Obviously the other one was in a cup game. Games without conceding, that's just present. Goals from corners, we are joint 3rd. Goals for direct free kicks, we're 2nd. James Tavernier's brilliant from free kicks. Goals from indirect free kicks. I just changed my free kick tactics, but we are the worst in this, so hopefully with the change of the set piece tactics, that starts to make a difference. Passes completed, we are the best in the league with about 30 more than the next, but then that's a big gap to Dundee in 3rd. Shots on target ratio, we are 7th. Shots on target total, again 6th, so not best there. Fouls against, this is actually a really good stat to have for you, because this shows that teams are tackling hard against us. While that might mean we get some more injuries, it means that teams are wanting to play hard with us. 2nd for dribbles per game, 1 behind Celtic, that's fine. Prefer a passing game anyway. Conceded, we are 2nd best in the league, despite having quite a shaky defence, I find. And 2nd for clean sheets as well, so again, that's a positive. I'm not happy with the defence, and we're still there or thereabout. With 0 penalties conceded, every other team in the league has conceded at least 1 penalty apart from us. So again, that's another really positive thing. Tackles 1, yeah. Very low on tackles 1, to be fair. Average attendance. 2nd, only 1,000 behind Celtic, which is actually really positive considering the fact their stadium is so much bigger. Average attendance by capacity, again, 2nd best in the league with that. Hearts with only 2% more. Very, very happy with that. Stadium sellouts, we have 1. But we've only played, like, Celtic have had an Old Firm game at home, we haven't. And that's the other issue, is there's so few games that are big games at Ibrox, apart from Old Firm games, maybe Aberdeen and Hearts, maybe. That wasn't a sellout there, I don't think. And net transfer spend, we are the highest spenders in the league, unsurprisingly. Celtic second highest. Obviously, if you include real life, Celtic would still be the highest with the money I've spent and the money that was spent before I took over. Hearts are lowest, but that's pretty much just made up from the John Souttar transfer. Player wise, which is actually the reason why I came here. So let's have a look at the ones that actually matter. Red cards. So we're going to have Joey Barton at the top with, is that 2 red cards? And not 1 red card. So who got the other one there? Oh, Tavernier. So we've had 2 in the cup, sorry. Rossetti, but still, he's only played 7 or 8 times for us and he's had 2 red cards, which is a bit worrying. Same with Rossetti, only played 9 times. Distance covered, Callum Patterson up there for Hearts, as well as Jamie Walker. 2 players I am looking at. I think, is Roddy McKenzie another one I'm looking at? No, he's not. Thought it might have been. There's a couple like Kilmarnock I'm looking at. Lee Wallace is up there. Only is quite a bit behind Callum Patterson though. Distance covered per 90 minutes. But worrying that I not have anyone really up there. That's a fairly worrying sign. But fair enough. Goals. Now, here we go. Waghorn is on 8. Quite a way off Chris Doolan at the top. Every game I have seen in the SPL, he is top goal scorer in the SPL. And I just, when you look at his stats for me, he's just an okay striker, but nothing spectacular. The same thing, is his contract maybe up in the summer? No, he's got a 3-year deal. That's disappointing. Maybe I've tried to snap him up just because he's so good at scoring for Partick Thistle. Maybe he could come in and do a job for us. Garner again on 7 goals with 2 less games than Waghorn, same amount of games off the bench, giving him an 8-minute better goal per game ratio. But again, Doolan on 80 minutes, that is absolutely phenomenal, particularly when you're in a team that's not really the strongest. Team goals is irrelevant, penalties are irrelevant, assists. I suspect Barry Mackay is going to be quite high up here. Yeah, he is. Actually, John McGinn I didn't realise was as high. That's surprising. I do mind McGinn getting a few assists, but I don't remember him getting a lot. I remember a lot from Barry Mackay. Again, Stephen Lawless up there for Partick Thistle as well, so that's actually quite an interesting one. Although imagine if he's got Doolan just bagging everything in front of him, that's going to change his assists. But again, 13 key passes, and he doesn't even look that good either, to be honest with you. Key passes, he'll be the highest, I would imagine. Again, nobody up there, which worries me a little bit, considering how many passes we make, that we've got so few key passes. Although maybe I suppose if everyone's just chipping in. Pass completion ratio, again, for a team that's got the highest very high pass completion ratio in the league, sorry I just hit the mic, it surprises me not to see any one of our players up there. And everything else is, well, mistakes to lead to goals. Wes Fotherham's got 1, James Tavernier's got 1, and that's the only one showing. I will wrap the video up here, guys. Thank you very much for watching again. If you don't mind maybe giving a like and a subscribe. And I will hopefully see you for the next episode, which will be Celtic. I'm almost sure of, yes it will be. It's Celtic at home on Hogmanay. So thank you very much for watching.